So there is no one who is able to go out of Islamic rules, the divine rule. We call Allah's rule. And we believe that the Quran is practical for every zaman, for every time. Okay? And for Islamic leaders, it is obliged, they are obliged to implement the Quran practices in their country. And the reason for corruptions to happen everywhere around the world is because they do not follow the teachings of the Quran of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and from narrations from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Islam is a religion which does not separate a person from his life or family or leadership or whatever it is. But the only thing we always hear that we don't mix Islam with politics today, it is mainly because people will abuse religion in politics. People tend to abuse religion in politics. That is why we say we don't mix religion with politics. But otherwise, there are kinds of politics which is guided by Islam. And not according to the politics which is known today. Democratic system and whatever it is. There's democracy in Islam, but guided democracy, not misguided democracy. Not democracy just out of the blue, nowhere. Anyone can just stand up and say, I want to be a prime minister, and he can be a prime minister or president or anything. There's a guided democracy in Islam. So now, as how we know this religion is meant for everyone, it is also been, this religion is also sent to kings to obey Allah. You look at the strength of this religion. Now, is there any religion which is sent to kings to obey God? They will not do that. No. For example, Catholicism nowadays. Catholicism, they have their religion is only for, they have the Old Testament and New Testament. So their New Testament is all about doing good. If anything, do anything wrong, no, we just give them advice. We leave them to God. The punishment, we leave them to God. So it's just like that. While Islam is very practical. And it's for everyone. Now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he sent envoys, or what we call it, delegations, to kings and emperors to call them to Islam. And these are some of the great emperors during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who kind of having a strong hand in the world. Now Amr bin Umayyah al-Damri, who was the first envoy, he sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent to Negus, king of Habasha, the Abyssinian king, whose name is, what is this? How do you pronounce this? Ashama? Ashama. Which means a gift. The Negus placed the messenger of Allah's letter sallallahu alaihi wasallam on his eyes and descended from his throne and sat on the floor. He accepted Islam and died during the lifetime of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the 9th year of the migration. And he sallallahu alaihi wasallam performed the funeral prayer over him. Najashi has never met Rasulullah, but he was a tabi'i because he met many Sahaba. Okay, he has believed that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has believed that the religion of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a true religion, and this man is a man which has been promised by Allah in their Injil, which is called Bible today. And there is no much differences between Islam and Christianity except for some. There's only slight differences between Islam and Christianity, and he realized that, and he know that this is the messenger of Allah. He has even given the protection to the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum ajma'in. And what led him to this? It is the nature of liking goodness and justice has led him to Islam and made him embrace Islam. The next one is Dihyatul Kalb. Dihya ibn Khalifa al-Kalbi, whom he sallallahu alayhi wasallam sent to the king of Byzantine, Qaisar, or he also called is Herakl, Caesar, which is Qaisar, or it is called Herakl, who became convinced of the prophethood sallallahu alayhi wasallam and was on the verge of accepting Islam. Were it not for his fellow Romans objecting with him, and because he feared them for his sovereignty, he refrained from accepting Islam. So now Qaisar, what happened to him when he received the letter from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? We will see the letter, what contained in the letter. He believed that this messenger is the right messenger, and his religion and his government will take over my government. He knows that for sure. He was certain about that. So what did he do? So he called Abu Sufyan. He said to his soldiers, do you know any of the Quraysh here now in Sham who is here for trading? I want to ask them about this man. Okay? And the best is to get those who are closest to him. And Abu Sufyan was from the same tribe as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but he did not agree with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Abu Sufyan was brought to the Herakl's palace, or Hercules' palace. MashaAllah, he has never dreamt to be to even meet some of the ministers, the Roman ministers. Suddenly he was brought to the Herakl's palace, and he was going to see the king, the Roman king. MashaAllah. One Bedouin man, from Makkah, one Quraysh, who is still struggling, fighting here and there, who is still kind of trying to have control over the Arabs, small group of Arabs, is going to see a great king. He was so excited, he was so happy. MashaAllah. And he went. The Roman soldiers went out and looked for Abu Sufyan, and they found Abu Sufyan together with another one or two men, and then they were brought to Herakl. MashaAllah, he was amazed when he was entering the palace. He was amazed with Herakl's palace. Right. It's an empire which has been lasted for 500 years before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Persian Empire, they have lasted since 1,000 years before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what happened next? He became convinced. He asked about Muhammad. Now, how is his descendant? I think we should get the hadith. This is in Bukhari, the hadith, and he was asking about Rasulullah. And some of the questions was given to him that has led Quraysh facing much more difficulties, is that he asked, how is the war between you and Muhammad? He said, Al-harbu baynana sijal. He said, war between us is sijal, which means sometimes he wins, sometimes I win. Then Abu Sufyan purposely said that, but I don't know what he is intending to us now. He tries to give a bad, he has to speak truth, okay, but he tries to give a bad image about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he asked, then what this messenger instructs you? He said he instructs us to do goodness, to combine kinship. He instructs us to do salah. He instructs us to do zakah. How is his what do you call it? Nasab. What does nasab means? Lineage amongst you. He says he's the best amongst the best. There is no one who has better lineage than him. What else? Is his followers getting more or getting lesser? He said they are getting more and more. Most of his followers consist of whom? It consists of the weaker ones, and some greater ones. and many other questions. So Herakl then said to him, now I have asked you about this, you said this. I have asked you about this, you said this. I have asked you about this, you said this. He said, if whatever you say is true, and he came to the ears of Abu Sufyan, he said, then he will own what's under my 2 feet. Abu Sufyan was shocked. He was fighting with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He still had some hope that he will win over Muhammad. Never even, he wasn't even able to think that Rasulullah would overcome him. He still had some hope to win over Muhammad. Suddenly now the Roman king told Abu Sufyan that Muhammad will own what's below my 2 feet. Now he got shocked. So what happened? The Roman king then announced. He said that, now what will you do? He was smart. He gathered all his ministers and all his priests, and also the Christian leaders, Catholic leaders, Roman Catholic leaders. He gathered all of them. He said that, now what is going to happen? What will you do if I'm going to follow this the religion of this man, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And then suddenly all their faces changed, and then some of them instructed the guards to close all the doors, and they wanted to assassinate the Roman king. And then they said that we will stand firm with our own religion, and we will take you off from the throne. But when he saw that, he will have to go through great challenges. He was worried that his throne will be taken away. Then he said that, and then he saw everyone's face has changed. He said that I'm just testing you. And then all of them went to sujood him. When he was very serious, wanted to follow the religion of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the love of dunya in him had more than the love for the religion and the pleasure of Allah, so he has given priority to his dunya. That is the story of Herakl. And Rasulullah was smart. The Romans, many of them looked very good. They are good looking people, the Romans. So Rasulullah sent the most beautiful among the Sahaba, who is known as Dihya bin Khalifa al-Kalbi. He was a very good looking man. Even Jibril, if he would come to the earth to give revelations to Rasulullah, if he comes in the form of man, or if he comes in the form of a companion, he will come in the form of Dihya al-Kalbi. Right. The third man is that Abdullah ibn Hudhafah as-Sahmi, whom he sent to Kisra, the king of Persia, who tore up the letter. Thereupon he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, may Allah obliterate his kingdom. Or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah said, Mazzakallahu mulkahu kulla mumazzak. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tear his kingdom into pieces. Because why? Because he tore the letter of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he did something which no kings will do. He killed the messenger of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He killed Abdullah ibn Hudhafah. And Abdullah ibn Hudhafah was not scared of Kisra. Time. The next is Hatib ibn Abi Balta'ah radiyallahu anhu, whom he sent to Al-Muqawqis, the Egyptian Christian emperor. Now, the Roman Catholic and the Christians in Egypt, they have always been having war against each other. The Roman Catholic always oppressed the Egyptian Christians, and they are trying to take advantage of the Egyptian Christians. They don't have peace since last time until today. Wonderful, huh? It is wonderful that Islam, even though you have a deviant aqidah, we still consider them as Muslims. If you don't have the right aqidah, we still consider our brothers as Muslims. For example, we believe that Shia is not in the right way, but we still say that they are Muslims. Or other people like Ismaili, we don't believe that they are in the right way, but Ismaili is something else. They have very, very deviant aqidah. Or whoever it is, the Khawarij, or whatever it is, Kilabun Nar, Rasulullah said they are the dogs of hellfire, the Khawarij. But we still consider them as Muslims. We don't consider them as non-Muslims. But the Christians, the Catholics doesn't recognize the Christians as Christians, and this one will not recognize these as Christians, and they divide amongst themselves much more than how Muslims divide among themselves. Right? Hatib ibn Abi Balta'ah, he was sent to the Egyptian king who was about to accept Islam. Muqawqis gave the Prophet Maria, Sirin, the grey mule named Duldul, 1,000 dirhams and 20 garments, all as gifts. And now this is the way of the kings. They want to know if Rasulullah was indeed a prophet, or if he was someone who is expanding his kingdom or empire. And this has been shown by Bilqis. You know Bilqis. When she wanted to test Prophet Sulaiman on his sincerity on asking Bilqis to be under his ruling. And he did not only ask Bilqis to be under his ruling, he asked Bilqis to convert into Islam. So what did Bilqis do? Bilqis sent gift to Sulaiman, trying to, okay, we give you some gift, we give you some money. She was trying to see if he was amongst those people who was expanding his kingdom, or if he is a real prophet of Allah. Because if he was someone who was expanding his kingdom, then he will accept any kind of peace agreement. I'll just take it. It's a gift. Yes, I want money from your country. I want goodness. I want to benefit from your country. That's why I want to rule you. But if he was a prophet, he will not accept those gifts, and he will still insist that they will convert into his religion. And that was done by Sulaiman. So Bilqis sent some gifts. Then Nabi Sulaiman, what did he do? He sent a great soldier to Bilqis to return back all her gifts and tell them to convert into Islam. So Bilqis know that now this man, he's not amongst those people who are expanding his empire. He is the prophet of Allah, and we should obey him. Long discussion between Bilqis and Nabi Sulaiman in Surah what? Surah Sulaiman. So this Egyptian Christian emperor also wanted to see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He also knew that Rasulullah was a prophet, and he wanted to convert into Islam, but his ministers insisted that they didn't want to convert into Islam. So what happened? He gave some gifts to Rasulullah. So Rasulullah accepted some gifts, and one of the gifts that he gave to Rasulullah was a doctor. Because Egypt was known for their specialty in medicine, knowledge of medicine. Anyone who goes to Egypt at that time, comes back, they will have the specialty in medicine. Rasulullah accepted Duldul, Rasulullah accepted Maria, Rasulullah accepted Sirin, Rasulullah accepted the money, but Rasulullah rejected doctor. And then Rasulullah said that we don't need doctors. Why? Why is it so? Because every simple sicknesses, the medicine is known for simple sicknesses, normal sicknesses. And the Bedouins, the Arabs, they know. but we are amongst those people who when we eat, we don't eat until we get full. Now half of the sicknesses comes from what enters your stomach. So if you take care of your food, you don't have to worry about complicated sicknesses. So if we don't have complicated sicknesses, then we don't need a doctor. Go back, doctor. Your job is done. No. You don't have any work here in Mecca or in Medina. So go back to Egypt. You have a lot of work there. So Rasulullah accepted Maria, and she was a slave of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What a wonderful slave to be under the slavery of Rasulullah. She bore the child of Rasulullah who was called Ibrahim, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has advised the Sahaba that one day you will rule Egypt, Masr, especially Rasulullah specifically mentioned Masr. And if you are going to them, then be gentle to them. Verily, they are your in-laws. They are your in-laws. Ibrahim, the son of the mother of Ibrahim was Maria, and Maria, she was from the Qibt, she was from Egypt. Right? The grey mule named Duldul. What's a mule? A mixture between donkey and a horse. 1,000 dirhams and 20 garments, all as gifts. The scholars of prophetic biography have mentioned that he sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent 6 individuals in one day in the year 7, and they all woke up speaking the language of the people to whom they were sent. Right, next, Amr ibn al-As, Dahiyatul Arab. He is known as the CIA of Arabs. CIA intelligence, Central of Intelligence Agency. What is CIA? Central of Intelligence Agency. That's Amr bin As during the time of Rasulullah. He was a very intelligent man. He was a very intelligent man, Amr bin As. He was even the negotiator for Quraysh even before he converted into Islam, and he was again the best negotiator for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was the best negotiator in Islam ever. Amr bin As. To Jaifar and Abid, the 2 sons of Al-Julanda and the 2 kings of Oman, they accepted Islam and allowed Amr access to collect the charity zakat from them and govern them, which he continued to do until the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away. And Oman used to be part of Yemen, and Yemen was ruled by who? By the Persians. China was ruled by Persians. India was ruled by Persians. MashaAllah, Persian Empire was the biggest empire during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What else left if you rule China and India? Alas. Biggest empire ever. Persian Empire, and then Russia, part of Russia, mashallah, Persian Empire, huge. Roman Empire mainly in Europe. Roman Empire were mainly in the Europe. Right. Salit ibn Amr al-Amiri radiyallahu anhu, Hawdah ibn Ali, the ruler of Al-Yamama. Al-Yamama is at the end of Yemen. So he honored him and sent a message. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how wonderful and beautiful is that which you are inviting people to. It says, I am the spokesman for my people, and their poet assigned to me some authority. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, however, refused, and so Hawdah didn't accept Islam. Is this Musaylama? Is this Musaylama? It should be Musaylama, because Musaylama asked from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He wanted to share the government of Rasulullah with Rasulullah, and he has even told his people to. He has offered himself to obey. His people will obey Muhammad if he will be made as a prophet after Muhammad. He gave all kind of. He used to flirt with Rasulullah, trying to ask something for Rasulullah, make him the mayor, make him the messenger after Rasulullah, divide the world into two with him. Musailama Al-Kadhdhab, he made some revelations that he claimed to be revelations. He speak about elephants, he speak about frogs, he speak about nasty things. Na'udzubillah. Musailama, he even speak about astaghfirullah, about bedroom stuff, husband and wife, in his revelation. Na'udzubillah. When people listen to his so-called revelations, people know that he's lying. People know that he's lying, but he has a big tribe from the Arabs, Banu Hanifa. They are very well known for their war tactics. They are strong, they are big in numbers, and they have a lot of what do you call it? From one government to another government. What do you call it? Affiliates. What do you call it? Allies. They have a lot of small allies with small Arab tribes. So they were strong. But Musailama al-Kadhdhab, Allah has destroyed him. The ninth is Shuja' ibn Wahab al-Asadi to Al-Harith ibn Abi Shimr al-Ghassani, the king of Balqa in Sham, who threw the letter and said, I am going to him. However, Kisra stopped him. The next is Al-Muhajir ibn Abi Umayyah al-Makhzumi to Al-Harith ibn al-Himyari in Yemen. The next is Al-Ala ibn Hadrami to Al-Mundhir, the king of Al-Bahrain. Al-Ala ibn Hadrami to the king of Bahrain and the son of S.A.W, who accepted Islam. MashaAllah. They accepted Islam and they sent lots of wealth in the form of zakah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Ala ibn Hadrami came back to Medina with the wealth which was sent to Medina to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was amazing. The masjid was filled with wealth. At that time, all the munafiqun, all those people who claim themselves to be amongst Muslims who has never gone to masjid for prayers, suddenly next morning Fajr prayer is full. Mosque, mashallah. What did Rasulullah do? Rasulullah prayed Fajr. He left. He went back to his house. He left all the wealth. But he knew all of them waiting for the wealth. So what did Rasulullah say? Rasulullah went out again. And then Rasulullah said, Wallahi mal faqru akhsha alaykum. He said, Wallahi, it's not poverty that I'm fear for you. وَلَكِنِّي أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ. But what I'm fear for you is that أَن تُبْسَطَ عَلَيْكُمُ الدُّنْيا, that this dunya will be expanded for you. فَتَنَافَسُوهَا كَمَا تَنَافَسُوهَا مَنْ كَانَ قَبْلَكُمْ. Then you will chase after the dunya just as how those people before you has chased after the dunya. فَتُهْلِكَكُمْ كَمَا أَهْلَكَتُمْ. Then the dunya will destroy you just as how it has destroyed them. Rasulullah didn't really care about wealth. And then Rasulullah instructed that the wealth to be divided equally. Bahrain, they still have a lot of wealth today. Next is Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, whom he sent to Yemen, together with Mu'adh bin Jabal, whereby both the laity and the kings of Yemen accepted Islam without a fight. They accepted Islam. Immediately they went out of the ruling from the Persian Empire and they joined the empire of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yemen people, they don't like to fight. Yemenis, when they fight, just before they start raising their voices, what they will do? Sallu ala Nabi, Sallu ala Habib. Give salawat upon Nabi, give salawat upon Habib. Oh, just as voice about to raise, you Sallu ala Nabi, Sallu ala Habib. How to fight? How to fight? Until today they don't like to fight. And those fights which is happening in Yemen are mainly caused by external influences, which is disliked by the Yemen people. The Yemen people, what they want? They say, we don't care about anything, we just want peace. Go out of our country. We don't want anything else. That's all they always say. That's why you see whenever anything happens in Yemen, it happens for 1 week, after that everything quiet. After 2-3 years, then you hear something happening for 1 week. Oh, then after that, something quiet. Because why? Yemeni are not fighters. They are not fighters. They don't like to fight. There was once, there were about 100 people gathered in Tarim. In Tarim, they come from outside Tarim, outside Hadramaut. They came to Tarim to make some protest. Inshallah, about 100 people. And then suddenly, what came out in the news? Thousands gathered in Tarim for protest. You see how much lies they have in news, in press. Thousands, 1,100 men. That's all. And many of them are children. Just joining. Whoa. They like to play music while they do protest. Because why? Attract attention and get children to follow them. All old men don't really care. Children, as they are playing outside, they enjoy the music. They don't really care about the protest. And they say, MashaAllah, look, thousands gathered for protest. La ilaha illallah. Scribes amongst those of his companions who wrote for him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, were the 4 caliphs. Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, Sayyidina Umar, Sayyidina Uthman, and Sayyidina Ali. Talha ibn Ubaidillah, Zubayr ibn al-Awwam, and Amir ibn Fuhayrah. Bahrain used to refer to what is modern day Al-Ahsa in Saudi Arabia. Abdullah ibn al-Arqam, Ubay ibn Ka'ab, Thabit ibn Qais ibn Shammas, Khalid ibn Sa'id, Hanzala ibn al-Rabi', Zayd ibn Thabit, Muawiyah, Shurahbil ibn Hasana, Al-Ala ibn al-Hadrami, Khalid ibn al-Walid, Al-Mughirah ibn Shu'bah, Abdullah ibn Rawaha, and Al-Hudhayfah ibn al-Yaman. Muawiyah and Zayd ibn Thabit were the most frequently employed and privileged in performing the task. Sample of his letters. Should we do this next week, inshallah? Yes, we should do our Latif. No, next week. Next 2 weeks. So next week, any one of you who is able to go to where? To go to KL, please do so. Habib Muhammad bin Abdul Rahman Sagaf, the one who is in charge for the Fattabi'uni, is in KL. Is he coming to Singapore? No news, huh? That's why we need to make a proper organization so we can invite him. We have direct contacts with all these people, but we don't have proper organization to invite. That's all we need, proper organization.